Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Crowd Chatter podcast. I got a mic on today, so it's a little bit louder than probably. Actually, this might be way too loud for a lot of you, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down a bit. But welcome on board, everybody. This is not a video that we're used to doing here on the channel. Most of the time, actually, we obviously, you know that we just record it and we put it out after. But this time we're actually going to do a little bit of a live video. And so we're going to do it that way this time instead. Okay, that is still incredibly loud. I'll just keep it like that. Um, but of course, most of you know, if you guys have not been paying attention, this is a live reaction to the selection show. I'm going to be doing a live reaction for it. Now, there's a completely empty space right here. I might be expecting one more person. I think Serbensky could be coming in. I was going to have Sam, but Sam is unavailable now. He had something come up, and so it'll be just me, and Serbensky is going to try and make it, but we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, we've never done a type of video like this before, so this is completely new. Uh, so this is completely new to all of us. Well, to me, I'm the only one on here. But this is very new to me because I have never done obviously a live video. I have recorded it and then put it out there, but I've never actually done a live video before uh, here on this channel. So this might seem a little kind of thrown together, um, which it kind of is because I want to do something different and I'm not really necessarily prepared for it. So as you can see, I'm trying to put in who the automatic bids are. Half of these logos, or not logos, color schemes, I don't even have. So it is. I'll have to get those as the video goes on because this is obviously we're getting very close to the selection show itself. There are two conference tournaments actually still playing. Is the Big Ten tournament, which is obviously the game right before the selection show on CBS, is currently, well, actually almost over. There's 20 seconds to go. Penn State just hit a three, and it is now 66 to 63. Purdue on top. So we'll see if oh my, he actually got a steal. And okay, Purdue, or not Purdue, Penn State might actually make this very interesting. Now he's trapped. Did Purdue get a timeout? Yeah, they did. Okay, well, as I said, that is the only game. Well, there's two left. There's the American Championship, which has only a minute to go, and Memphis is up by 8, 72-64. And we also have, of course, as I said, the Big Ten tournament championship right now, which has Penn State on top, or not Penn State, Purdue on top by 1. And once that game is over, it's going to switch right to the selection show, of which obviously the whole idea is I'll be reacting to that. So I have a spreadsheet ready here, and I'll be entering all the games as I go. I'll do the cities and stuff later. I'm not going to do that in this video. That's obviously going to take way too long. I'm also going to have LinkedIn. It's actually not linked in it right now, but we are going to be doing. Well, again, we're going to be doing a. We're going to have a. I don't know why I keep fumbling around with this. We're going to have a group for the bracket challenge. So we will be doing it again. We'll have it on ESPN, and you can anybody can enter. It's anybody's game. So we'll have I'll have the link for it in the description after this live stream is over because I don't have it on there right now. So I'll have it on there afterward. Looks like we got a foul on Penn State. It's only a 3-point game, so there's yeah, they called a foul on Penn State, and then they are in a double bonus, so 2 shots for Purdue. Um, but we'll have the group down in the description after this video is over. So after this video, you can go ahead, get to that group, you can join it, and see if you can beat us. Likely, you probably can, because predicting the tournament this year is nearly impossible, because there are so many good teams. Well, there's so many just kind of so many good teams, and it's a 2-point game. Hold on, we got 2-point game. Penn State has the ball. All right, they call a timeout, so we'll have the final play later. But it's 67-65. Fletcher Lawyer missed the second free throw, so with 3.3 to go, Penn State calls a timeout. They'll have one last chance to either tie it or win it at the buzzer to beat Purdue for the Big Ten tournament championship. Penn State is likely in the NCAA tournament even without this win, so they don't necessarily actually need it. Could help. I mean, it's not going to hurt them to get this win, obviously. But they don't necessarily need it, so big for, sorry guys. But it would be a nice win still for Penn State. You could possibly, get a higher seed. So if you're Penn State, it's still nice to win it. You can go ahead and win yourself a Big Ten tournament title. I don't think that was something that Penn State was expecting to actually have. So I mean that's nice. So we have 3.3 to go. It just came back from commercial. And so while we're waiting, obviously, for this to happen, we got still another 20 minutes or so until it begins, until the selection show begins. So while we're here, hold on, the play is actually about to begin now. So 3.3, Penn State has it, obviously, on their own side of the court. We'll see if Penn State can make a play. Oh, well, Purdue's going to call a timeout. Never mind. So how we're going to do this video, or how I'm going to handle this video, is I'm going to have it so that we can. I'm going to have it so obviously as the video goes, I will be putting the teams in here. I don't necessarily have them on. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. And yeah, I'm going to bring that here. And so that way I have some of the teams. Like I said earlier, I don't have all of these teams' color schemes. A lot of these teams I won't have, especially for like the teams that are through the 12 through 16 range. Likely I'm going to have next to none, if not any of those teams. So I will do my best. I mean, I'll obviously put the name in. I'll try and change the color when I can, and get a color scheme in for those teams. So right now we have it. So right now, of course, Penn State down by 2, 67-65. Memphis is 12.2 away from winning the American. They're up by 11. But here's the play for Penn State. Jalen Pickett throwing in the inbound, gets it there. Here comes the through. Oh, they fouled him. Or they call a travel. Looked like a. Let me see. I think they call it travel. Um, I guess they called I think they call it travel on that. Must have, yeah. So they didn't really get Penn State doesn't get a shot off. Point 0.6 to go. Looks like Purdue should come away with this one unless something crazy happens. And then here's the throw, and yep, that'll do it. Purdue gets the Big Ten tournament title. They get the automatic bid out of the Big Ten. And Memphis just took down Houston for the American tournament title. And that does it for conference tournaments. They are officially done. So the selection show probably will begin here not too long from now. Maybe I might wait until 6 o'clock. Who knows? Um, so we'll see what they do. We got 20 minutes. Um, we'll see where they go. But as I said earlier, for those of you who are maybe joining now, or maybe if you're watching later, or whatever the case may be, um, right now it is just me. I was going to have Sam on here, but he had something come up last minute, and so he is not going to be with us this time. Maybe if we do this again next year, which I kind of like this idea, so we might just do it again next year. But there's a possibility that Serbensky will be joining us during this video at different occasions. I don't know if he will. That is currently why you see this gaping hole over here on this right side, because if he does, then I can put him in and I can, shape him how I need to and all that good stuff. So, and what I'm saying is, obviously, you guys have probably seen before where I, shape these sections right here. As you can probably see my mouse right there. I have, this is all, I minimize it into different parts of the screen to make it fit because I only have one monitor, only have one screen. I don't have two. If I had two, this would be a lot easier because I could just, overlay this entire thing and then I could put my picture pretty much right on the top. But I don't have that, so I have to kind of like squeeze everything into the same spot, which is obviously a little, annoying. But that's really the only way I can really do this. So this is we're doing the picks now for well, this is not picks. I am sorry, guys, a little out there. But obviously the selection show will be going here rather shortly. So hopefully we'll get some announcements here pretty soon. Right now they're still interviewing Matt Painter, the Purdue basketball coach. So we'll see what if anything changes, if they like when they go to obviously. I don't know where the like studio is where they make the picks. But I'm sure that they're pretty much done by now, so we'll see. Very curious to see who the number one overall seed is. Whether that's going to be Alabama, could be Purdue. Purdue's, I mean, as much as I kind of dog on the Big Ten and everything, I have before. As much as I dog on Big Ten teams, and I have dogged on the Wolverines multiple times, which most of you probably know, I am a big Wolverines fan. As for Michigan, I do not want to see them anywhere near this tournament. If they are anywhere close to the NCAA tournament, I might riot. This is not, excuse me, they are not a tournament team. And if they end up even being close to the NCAA tournament, it would be a disgrace to college basketball. So if that tells you enough about what I think of the Wolverines, I don't know what will. So no, I'll leave that on. But comment down below. What do you guys? I mean, comment down below. I see there's only one person watching, but I guess that's not surprising. Anyway, so if you guys you know comment down below when you get here though. Comment down below. What do you think? What teams are you looking forward to seeing and where at? Because obviously we got a long ways to go still until the teams are selected. They're now actually at the studio and all, so we'll see if they start making picks here soon. But this should be a very fun tournament, guys. I'm really excited for this one. Um, this should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of very fun games, especially those 8, 9, and 7, 10 games. I think those are going to be absolutely wild. There's going to be a lot of action, and so I am very curious to see where some of these teams are put in the NCAA tournament, which teams end up making it, and who don't. Like who ends up being the last four in and the first four out. That's going to be a very interesting one for me. Who just misses and who just gets in and is the last one to get into the NCAA tournament. Um, and then, like I said, who's the number one overall seed? Who are the twos and four and threes? Um, but if you're asking me, if you're asking me who is my favorite currently, if you're asking me to pick somebody right now, which I'm gonna have to obviously tomorrow, which is when we're planning on doing doing the picks overall for the NCAA tournament, should be me, maybe Srbensky. I don't know, maybe Sam can make it as well. Um, but when we do the picks, that'll be probably tomorrow, and we'll be obviously we will have to be picking the teams there. Um, but if you're asking me who's my favorite to win it all this year, my pick is Bama. The Alabama Crimson Tide have been outstanding this season and have yet to really. They had a couple bad games after the whole Brandon Miller mess, but this is a fantastic team. And, I don't think talent is a question with Alabama. I think the question for Bama now, obviously, with their biggest issue being, all the talk around the program and just like I said, the mess with Brandon Miller and obviously the murder of unfortunately I forget her name. I think it's Jamela Harris or something like that. But obviously, huge distraction for the team. But if it ever works, it's a huge distraction for the Tide. They get after the first few shaky-ish games, they've looked pretty good. They obviously blew through the SEC tournament, and they just hammered Texas A&M today, who has been rolling ever since joining the SEC. So very impressive what the Tide has been doing. Um, I'm very curious. I think right now, if you were to ask me who's my pick to win it all, I'd have to say them. I think they're the most complete team. I think they have, they have a very deep roster. They have a lot of guys that they can bring in as well. They're a great 3-point shooting team. They can get inside. They play good defense. They have it all. I think the question really for Bama, though, as I said earlier, is can they stay focused? Can they block out the outside noise? Uh, can they handle it? I mean, obviously that's a lot to handle. So we'll see if they can make it happen. And then other teams, you're asking me who else do I think is a Final Four potential team? I'd say Kansas. I think, or well, who else do you think can just go to the tournament championship? To the a Final Four championship. Who else can win it? I'd say Kansas. Kansas is another very good team. Obviously, they're the defending champions from a year ago. Kansas is very good. They have a lot of very good players. Um, and so you can't really go wrong with the Jayhawks. They obviously have dominated this year as they are far and away the number one team in Quad 1 wins. They have been outstanding in that category, blowing everybody else away there, as I think they have close to maybe like 10, or not, well, not 10. I think it's like 7 or 8 more Quad 1 wins than everybody else, and they have 17 of their 27 wins are all Quad 1. I mean, it's crazy how good they've been and how many good teams they've beaten. So, really impressive resume for Kansas. I would not be surprised if that's the number one overall seed, especially since they're defending champ. Um, but another team that I really do like as well is Texas. I know that's probably a pick of which some people kind of just groan at, but the Texas Longhorns are another very good team. I really like that Texas squad. Um, they're intern. I mean, I guess he's still technically the interim. He should be made just the head coach. Period. I don't care. Give that guy a blank check. I mean, you're talking about a team that was top 10 potential. Um, and you're talking about that kind of a team that had top 10 potential, lost their head coach and Chris Beard in the middle of the season, and then Rodney Terry brings them all the way, takes them all the way, keeps them in the top 10, and they're still playing just as well as anyone in the country. I would say. I mean, that's a really impressive. That's really impressive for Texas. Really impressive for them. Um, here. There we go. Um, or nope, that's not what I said. But I'm really curious to see how that goes. Uh, and then other teams I really like. UCLA's got some talent. I think they had somebody get hurt. I think. Uh, but I'm not necessarily sure. I know that they had somebody recently announced to be out for the season. I would have to be reminded of who that is, but somebody is out for the year, and I can't remember the what the guy's name is. But UCLA is another good team. Houston is another very good team, but the Cougars also have some injury issues. I'm not sure if Sasser played today, but he got hurt in the last game, and he did not play against Memphis today. But Marcus Sasser, he had a pretty nasty injury. I think it was against Cincinnati, or maybe it was against Cincinnati. Yeah, there it is. But he had an injury up against Cincinnati, which definitely did not help the Houston Cougars. I mean, they beat Cincinnati, but then they lost to Memphis. So we'll have to see how Sasser is doing and if he can come back. Obviously, that is a big part of Houston's team. And obviously, whether or not he can play is big time for the Cougars. But Houston's team, I love their defense, but a lot of times they struggle to score. And so it's going for them to really win. It's going to require them to absolutely, be incredible. Well, if they're going to win, they're going to have to score. And I've seen many times this year where they have struggled to score. Now, you also could say, well, they're 30 and they're 31-3. I mean, that's got to count for something. But you also got to think they're playing the American, and the Americans only going to have two teams. Houston being one of them, and the team they just lost to in Memphis being the other. And both times they played Memphis, it was a close game. They had to scrape out for a victory. Now they won, but to me, I think Houston's good. Don't get me wrong. I think Houston is a good team, But you know, I could see an 8C. Oh, not an 8C. Well, maybe I could see because they're likely gonna get a one. I could see an 8-9, 4-5 getting the win. Uh, and getting an upset. I could totally see that happening. Is it likely? I mean, you never know with these upsets. You never know if any of them are likely. But um, so we're starting this one. Right now they're still going over like some teams to watch out for the NCAA in the NCAA tournament for the championship. I actually see the Duke Blue Devils they have on there. That is actually a very dangerous team, I think. In March, they have been playing their best basketball right now, and with that, they are going to be very, very difficult. If they're playing their best basketball, I think they are right there with Bama for the championship. But the problem is that all year long they've been very inconsistent. And so, I mean, if they stay consistent, I mean, yeah, I mean, they would be better than anybody. But this team has yet to find consistency. They haven't really had that, and so we'll have to see uh, if they are to get in. If you're just tuning in right now, I was going to have Sam on board with me, but he had something come up at the last minute, so he's not able to make it. Serbensky is also busy, but he's going to try and see if he can get on as well. Don't know if he will. That's why there's a spot for him left on the right side here. If he comes, then I'll be ready. If he doesn't, well, oh well. So we got 3 more minutes to go, guys. Obviously, that's big. Obviously, Purdue winning the Big Ten tournament, if you guys haven't seen, and the American going to the Memphis Tigers. All right, so it looks like they're wrapping up the post game, I guess, stuff for the Big Ten tournament championship, as well as kind of other stuff. So what should be next should actually be the selection show. So we're getting very close. Yeah, every time I see that commercial, it makes me laugh. Because obviously the Big Ten signed a huge contract with CBS, and now football will be for the Big Ten will be on CBS, which just sounds weird because the SEC has had CBS. Well, CBS has had the SEC for ages and has always been like the 3:30 game, or on occasion they've had a 8 o'clock game for those really good SEC games, like the Bama A&M games or a Bama LSU game. Those tend to be really good as well. So we're getting really close here. Quick comment below. Who you excited to see in the NCAA tournament? Who you think will be a surprise announcement when they announce the field? Who will make it that you think no one would expect? Now, if you said Michigan, I'd tell you you're crazy because that team, as I as I mentioned earlier, should not be anywhere near the NCAA tournament and doesn't belong to be anywhere near the NCAA tournament. I'm not even sure if they belong near the NIT, but that's beside the point because if they really did make it to the NCAA tournament, I would laugh because that's just a joke. I mean, even last year they were 17-14. Yeah, sure, they went to the Sweet 16, but they're 17-14, and I'm like, well, how the heck does that team make it? And there's some other team. I don't remember who it was, but there was some other, and they didn't even make it in the first four. They weren't even in Dayton. Like, obviously, Dayton hosts the first four. They weren't one of the last 4 teams in. They were just simply in the tournament. Then they got to be an 11 seed playing Colorado State. I'm like, how? That team is not good enough to just simply be in a tournament. They should be at least in the first four. And as if they should even be in the tournament. But, I mean, obviously, they ended up going to the Sweet 16, so that's pretty good. Well, here we go. We just came back from commercial, so looks like the selection show is about to begin. So Here we go, guys. Let the games begin. This is gonna be a lot of fun. As I said earlier, I have never done a live reaction before to anything. So doing a live reaction for the selection show is gonna be a lot. I think will be a lot of fun. We'll see if Serbensky will join us. We'll see. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. I don't know. So yeah, we're right about ready to get started. This is gonna be absolutely wild, and this is gonna be lots of fun, guys. Lots and lots of fun. So, uh, let's see. Looks like they're about to announce the field. I have it muted because I don't want that sound to get on obviously the recording. So they're still talking right now, but I think the first side that they're going to announce is this side right here, which is the mid. I think which one is this? Is this the Midwest? I think this is the Midwest. Yeah, this is the Midwest. So the first one that they should be announcing is the Midwest, and then I think they go to the right and then they go down, and then it's over back to the left because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, they go around like this. So we'll start on the in the top left, then it'll be top right, then bottom right, and then bottom left. So here we go, here we go. We are underway. We're going to the south, or wow, south? What? Okay, I think that's a different region now. But the number one overall seed, I think that, yeah, they went on the top. So, number one overall seed, what a surprise. It's the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think everyone kind of expected that. Oh, the games are going to be in Birmingham. Well, that's a huge home field advantage for the Tide. So, Alabama going to the number one overall seed. And they'll get the winner of was a first four game in Texas A&M Corpus Christi and Southeast Missouri State. Those are two very long names for schools. Holy cow! All right, so I don't have the color schemes for either one of those two yet. Geez, there's a lot of letters. I don't. That's not even gonna be close to fitting in here. I'm gonna have to do like initials. So. All right, let's see. The 8-9 game. This is the really good one. This is the one I'm curious about. Ooh, okay. Maryland is the 8 seed. I don't know who the 9 is yet, but Maryland is the 8. And the 9 is these are still games in Birmingham. So the 8 is Maryland. Oh, West Virginia is the 9. Oh, wow. That's a really good game. Former ACC teams right there. That should be a lot of fun. That's a good matchup right there. I like that. I like that pick. All right, San Diego State is the 5. Okay, they're going really fast for me now. But San Diego State, they have announced as the 5 seed, the 12. Whoever Oral Roberts is getting is dead. Charleston. Ooh, okay, that's a good matchup. I like that matchup. San Diego State and Charleston is the 5-12. Yeah, this is really fast. I'm having a hard time keeping up. But 5-12 is San Diego State and Charleston. Charleston is a pretty good team. I'm surprised they only got 12. Virginia is going to be the 4. Wow, this is a really weak group for Bama. Okay, Furman's the 13. All right, I'm trying to still catch up, guys. So this is let's do that for now. So you got UVA, and then this is Furman. Furman is the 13 seed. All right, the 6 is Creighton. Okay, so now we got the 11 seed is next. This is a huge one because you never know. You never know. This is one of the last 4 in type teams, so we'll see who the 11 is. Okay, it's going to be NC State. All right, so that's one of the 11s, and they are not in the first 4. So NC State simply makes the NCAA tournament. They get the 11 seed. That's a big one for NC State. All right, the 3 is going to be Baylor. Oh, okay, That's an interesting one. The Baylor Bears and UC Santa Barbara is the 14 seed. All right. I'm trying to keep up with this. The 7 is Missouri. Ooh, okay. I like Missouri. They're a very good offensive team. Missouri, very, very offensive. And their opponent is going to be, wow, Utah State. Well, actually, Utah State made a run, so that's not a surprise. So the 10 is Utah State. That's a nice matchup, I would say. So Missouri and Utah State. The 2 is Arizona. Okay, so Arizona is ranked the 5, the number 5 team for them. Okay, that's pretty high. I was not expecting that high for Arizona. Arizona and their opponent is going to be Princeton. Okay, Princeton, one of the auto bids, obviously. A lot of these teams are just auto bids, but Princeton gets the 15 seed. Okay, so I'm trying to keep up with this. I also got to put in records because I don't have any of those either. So they're looking at the top here. So Alabama 29-5 overall, and then of course the 16, obviously. We have Texas A&M Corpus Christi and Southeast Missouri State. Winner of that game moves on. Maryland the at 21 and okay, never mind. I think they're no, I'll just leave it. But Maryland and West Virginia. Then you have San Diego State and Charleston as the 5-12. Virginia and Furman the 4-13. NC State and Creighton. That could be a very interesting game. Very curious to see that one. Baylor and UC Santa Barbara, the 3-14. Missouri and Utah State at 7-9, and then Princeton, Arizona at 2-15. Okay, so it looks like they're going to probably go to commercial, which will also allow me to just be able to catch up with this because I have a lot of teams still to put in. So thank you for that, CBS. So San Diego State, as we said, is the 5. So when we go to commercial here, I'm gonna go over the matchups and like what I think of them. Which one's gonna be really fun? Maryland West Virginia is one that immediately catches my eye. That is gonna be a fantastic game. Those two, like I said, old. I'm pretty sure they. Well, no. West Virginia ever in the ACC? No, they never were. They were in Big East. But those are still two big rivals, I'm pretty sure. So I think that's just, but just because of the way both teams play, that should be a very fun game. I'm very excited to see that one. Um, but Virginia, of course, as I said, the 4 here. Then you got Furman as the 13, the Creighton Blue Jays. I gotta go and find them because I don't have them just sitting around. Because the only thing they play, of course, is basketball. So this is from my tournament picks for the conference tournaments. Um, Here's Creighton. So I think they're they lost that game because they or no, they beat Nova and then they lost to Xavier. So I think they're 21-12. I'd have to look that up. But the Creighton Blue Jays, the 6th seed here, and they get NC State. That is a really, really interesting game. That should be a lot of fun to see. Um, so I'm gonna. I don't think they're gonna. Oh no, they do have it on here. Okay. So, so Southeast Missouri State and Texas A&M Corpus Christi is going to be on my birthday, March 14th. Where's Creighton and okay, I'm trying to find all the games right now because I want to get the records in. Okay, it looks like Creighton and okay, Creighton NC State is going to be on Friday. So the Creighton Blue Jays are 21-12. NC State is 23-10. That's a really curious matchup. I'm very interested in seeing how that one goes. NC State, I'm surprised they actually fell that far. I always thought they would have been at least a 10, maybe even a 9. Same goes for Charleston. I'm really surprised that they didn't get any farther than a 12. Virginia obviously gained another 4. I will never understand that one. But the Baylor Bears, obviously, they got a 3, and they got UC Santa Barbara, who got nearly an upset against that Creighton team, whatever year that was. I'm trying to remember. But the Baylor Bears now at 22-10, and they got a 3 seed. Wow. That is really low for a 3 seed. We are back, though. They already have come back from commercial break. And I think they're probably going to go on the far right side. Well, I went way too far. And unsurprisingly so, the next team up is the Houston Cougars. So Houston, the number 1 overall seed. Still waiting on who the 16 is, but Houston is the number 1. Obviously, an incredible 31-3 for Houston. And their opponent, and this is also games in Birmingham, Alabama. So their opponent in the NCAA tournament, once they show it, must still be talking about Houston a lot, hyping them up. Not a surprise. 16. Okay, there it is. Northern Kentucky. So Northern Kentucky, the 16 seed. Now we got the 8-9. That's another one I don't want to miss. The 8-9. Who is the 8 seed in this region? Iowa. Okay, Iowa's very, very offensive. So I'm curious to see who this 9 is. Auburn. Ooh, all right. I like that. That's a good match. That's a good matchup. I like that. So Iowa and Auburn, another matchup. That is the winner of that game. Not probably. Obviously, is going to be getting Houston unless Northern Kentucky decides, hey, we're going to upset the second 1 seed ever. That's unlikely to happen. The 5 is the Miami Hurricanes. Wow, that's kind of low for Miami. I would have expected them to be higher. So Miami, the 5. Who gets the 12? Drake. Okay, that's an interesting one as well. Curious to see how that goes. So Drake is the 12. We'll see who the 4 is. But the number 4 seed in this region, let's see, Indiana Hoosiers. Okay, Indiana's very good. Wow, they win. That'd be a really interesting second game. Indiana, Miami, Florida would be very fun. Their opponent is going to be Kent State. Okay, so the Kent State, what was it, Golden Flashes, I believe. They will be getting Indiana. And the 6th seed in this region, they're already at the 6, is Iowa State. Iowa State had a rough stretch during the season, but that's a very good team. The Big 12 is brutal. Oh, and there we go. There's one of the first 4 games, the last 4 in-type teams, Mississippi State and Pitt. In the first 4 game, the winner of that one will get Iowa State. All right, so that's a big announcement there. So we got 2 teams that were on the bubble now, off the bubble, and into the NCAA tournament, Mississippi State and Pitt. Very big for both of those teams. So yeah, that's a big announcement there. Mississippi State and Pitt both getting in. All right, we have all right. Next one, we have the 3 seed as Xavier, and the 14 seed is the team that is making it for the first time in their tournament history. I know Calvin will love this. Kennesaw State is the 14 seed. They get the Xavier Musketeers, 26-8 for Kennesaw State. Xavier at 25-9. Wow, Texas A&M, a 7 seed. Oh my, that is very low. So they get a 7. Who's a 10? Man, I'm curious who this 2 is now. That's a oh wow. Penn State is the 10. Ooh, that's a very good game. Okay, that's 2 really hot teams playing their best basketball right now. That's a fantastic matchup. I'm surprised that Texas A&M only got a 7. Oh, and the 2 seed is Texas. Wow, this is a really loaded bottom here with these teams. So you got Texas as the 2. That would create a really fun matchup. It was Texas A&M and Texas, 2 huge rivals in the next round. Oh, and they get to play toothpaste. Colgate is the 15. What do you know? I don't even know what their mascot is, but I always like saying toothpaste because it looks like the one toothpaste brand. Well, it sounds like the one toothpaste brand, I should say. So here's how it looks right now. I'm going to just update all these records after because it's going so fast that I can barely really keep up with it. So when we do the picks for the tournament, I'll have all this updated. I'll have color schemes for all these teams. And hopefully next time I'll actually have, all these teams ready to go and I'll actually have their color schemes. But Texas A&M and Penn State. Wow, what a 7-10 game. That is a really good matchup. I'm very surprised that those 2 teams uh, only ended up, well, not necessarily Penn State only ended up as a 10, but Texas A&M ending up as a 7 is shocking. They nearly won the SEC tournament and regular season, and they're only a 7. That to me is unbelievable. All right, so we're going back to commercial again. So let's go over the matchups again, like we did in the last region. So going up here, we had Houston against Northern Kentucky. Obviously, the Cougars should wipe the floor with I think it's the Northern Kentucky Norse. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what I believe that's what they are. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Northern Kentucky Norse. I feel like you can come up with something a lot better than that, but oh well. But anyway, we have Houston taking on Northern Kentucky. Whoops, that's not it. And then you have Iowa up against the Auburn Tigers. Really, really fun matchup there. Then you got Miami, Florida up against the Drake Bulldogs. Another really fun matchup there. Um, those are both fantastic matchups. Indiana up against the Kent State Golden Flashes. That's Indiana getting the 4th seed. Iowa State against the winner of the first 4 game, and Mississippi State and Pitt. Those are big announcements for those 2 teams who still ended up making the NCAA tournament. Pitt, despite losing some, I'm really surprised Pitt only ended up as an 11. I would have figured they would have been higher than that, even though they got bombshelled by Duke. Pitt has some really nice wins. I'm pretty sure they were close to being ranked at that point too. So I'm surprised they only ended up as an 11, but and in the first 4 against Mississippi State. But Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, they were directly on the bubble, so I'm not surprised that they ended up as an 11 in the first 4. Big for them to make the NCAA tournament. Then you got Xavier taking on Kennesaw State, whatever it is. I don't know. Forgive me, Calvin. I don't know how it's officially pronounced. I think it's I want to say it's Kennesaw State. I like Kennesaw State better though. but I'm pretty sure it's actually pronounced Kennesaw State. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But Xavier and Kennesaw, I'm just gonna go with Kennesaw State. Xavier and Kennesaw State. That should be a. That'll be probably will be a. Unfortunately, I think that'll likely be a win for Xavier. But Xavier has had some mishaps before, so maybe they have another one. But A&M Penn State. I can't believe that's a. I'm still marveling over the fact that's a 7-10 game. That is going to be fantastic. I mean, you look at Texas A&M, one of the hottest teams in college basketball, gets to the line, is one of the best teams at getting to the free throw line. And as for Penn State, they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. So that's a really good matchup. And then Texas is obviously being a 2. So now we move on to the next region, obviously, as they're going to start this up again. And there you go. And this is the West region, and there's the Kansas Jayhawks. They are the number 1 seed in this region. That's not a surprise at all. As I said, Kansas just had so many quad 1 wins. It was just absurd. So their record 27-7. Their opponent in the first round is Howard. Howard, actually, this is their first appearance in the tournament since like 1992. And actually, for the other, 13 seed in, Furman, that was their first appearance since 1980. So long droughts ended there. Oh, the 8-9 game, Arkansas and Illinois. Illinois is a very dangerous team if they're playing well, but they have they've been wildly inconsistent this year. They get the 9 seed. That's a really interesting game there. St. Mary's as the 5. As most of you probably know, I'm not a Mary's guy. VCU as the 12. All right, that's an interesting matchup. So VCU getting the 12 seed. This is really very ordinary so far. Now you have UConn as the number 4 seed. Yes, Serbensky, your favorite team, and oh my gosh, Iona. Geez, how many? There could be a lot of upsets in this region. UConn's team is okay, but I'm not the biggest UConn guy. TCU is the 6th seed, and the 11th seed in this region. Watch them put in Michigan. Oh, that would be funny. Nope, it is Arizona State and Nevada, and as a first 4 game. So Arizona State has made it. Serbensky, you can rejoice. The Sun Devils are in the NCAA tournament. They'll get a first 4 game against Nevada. That's big for the Horned Frogs. TCU has been kind of all over, so we'll see how they do. But that'll be interesting. Gonzaga St. Mary's and Gonzaga in the same region. Gonzaga, the 3 seed, and 14 is Grand Canyon. All right. All right. So Grand Canyon goes and gets the 14 seed. The 7th seed is Northwestern. Okay, Northwestern, their second ever tournament appearance in school history. And they're the 7th seed, and so the 10 in this region, this is going to be an interesting one, is Boise State. Okay, kind of low for the Broncos. A bit surprised there that the Broncos did not make it. Not that they didn't make it, but that they were that low. And the 2 is UCLA. Okay, that's a really good team, but wow, I'm kind of surprised UCLA was that low. I mean, they're honestly better than that. So UCLA, they will get the 2 seed, and UCLA's opponent is UNC Asheville. UNC Asheville, their first appearance, I think, since like either 16 or 17. I don't remember which one. But UNC, Asheville, uh, big one for UCLA. Well, not a big one for UCLA. Big one for UNC Asheville, maybe. But we got, of course, the top part of this where you have Arkansas and Illinois as the 8-9. Wow, that is a heck of a heck of a matchup in the first round. I'm really that's going to be a tug of war between those two. Arkansas is getting healthy though, so Arkansas. Both of these teams, this is the crazy thing, both of these teams have tons of potential. And really, both of them could pull an upset on Kansas if they are playing at their best. But Arkansas hasn't really been fully healthy hardly all year. And as for Illinois, they've been also not really fully healthy and wildly inconsistent. So, really, really interesting game there. St. Mary's and VCU, I could see that being an upset. UConn Iona also could see that as an upset. TCU against Arizona State or Nevada. Uh, Also can see that as an upset. So, looking at the teams that we have not seen yet, Oral Roberts, FAU, Kansas State, and Marquette. None of them have been announced yet, so we have all those teams still remaining. We also have not heard Purdue, so I'd think between the 1 and 2, it's going to be either Marquette or Purdue. My guess is that the Boilermakers will end up getting the number 1 seed, and Marquette will end up getting the 2. As far as the rest goes, I guess Kansas State would end up being the 3. I don't know where FAU or Oral Roberts would go, but whoever gets ORU is very much in trouble. That's all I got. Oh yeah, we haven't heard Duke either. The Duke Blue Devils have not been announced, so that could be a 4 or 5. I'm guessing 4. I can't see them going to a 5. They were really hot to end the season, or well, to end right before the NCAA tournament. They were outstanding, so I can't see them going that low. Um, going any lower than that is what I'm trying to spit out. Um, we have not seen Rutgers yet, so that is another interesting conundrum. Where will the Scarlet Knights go? We also have not seen Michigan State. The Spartans have not been announced yet, neither has Oklahoma State. As we said earlier, no Kansas State as of yet, so we'll see where they end up. No Clemson as of yet. We have not seen the Clemson Tigers. Obviously, no UNC, but in all likelihood, that team will not be making it. From the Pac-12, no USC yet. There's a lot of teams that are in the bubble that we have not seen. Kentucky, we have not seen the Wildcats either, or Tennessee. Wow, there's still a lot of teams left. And obviously, we have not seen Vanderbilt either. Vanderbilt made a little bit of a run at the end of the season, so we'll see if maybe if the Commodores can get lucky and sneak in. But that 11 seed is anybody's game. I'd have to think the 10. The 10, I'd have to think, is USC. I don't really see who else would take it. You know, I mean, I guess like the 11 is going to have to be like a Rutgers. Well, maybe Rutgers gets the 10, but Rutgers would have to be either 10 or 11. Michigan State, I think they're about to get set up with a game against FAU. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry for the Atlantic. Oh, come on. FAU deserves better than that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, they're gonna get stuck with FAU. Or I'm sorry, they're gonna get stuck with Michigan State. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Owls. I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. But all right, here we go. We're back. We're going to the East, and what a surprise! The Purdue Boilermakers are the number one seed in the very last region. So we're about to have finally the last region of the NCAA tournament. So the Purdue Boilermakers just took home the Big Ten tournament title before this selection show. And so the Purdue Boilermakers, 6-5. I don't know if that's right. I think they're supposed to be something else. Um, okay, I think they're confused with the 16. They have the play-in game as Southeast Missouri State and Howard, but they already announced Howard as a 16 seed, and Southeast Missouri. Okay, there we go. Texas Southern and Fairleigh Dickinson. Yeah, I was a little confused there. Okay, they fixed it. Memphis is the 8th seed here, coming out of the American. They obviously won their conference tournament. Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm like, that don't look right. Both of those teams are already in the tournament. What the heck? Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. And okay, so FAU. Ooh, okay, that's a neat game. So the Owls did not get Michigan State; they got FAU. Cal, where's Michigan State gonna be? All right, so the five. Wow, the five is actually Duke. Okay, so the Blue Devils did only get a five. I'm kind of surprised by that, but the Blue Devils, the 5 seed. Who's a 12? Don't tell me it's ORU. No, not ORU. No, no, no. ORU got Duke. Oh no. Oh no. ORU. They got Duke. Oh no. Oh, I really, that sucks. All right, so Oral Roberts gets the Duke Blue Devils. Tennessee is the 4. Tennessee is in a bad spot right now, losing Zakiya Ziegler, and they get Louisiana. Louisiana in their first ever NCAA tournament since 2014. So, been a little bit for Louisiana. But they get the 13. Those games in Orlando, Florida. So now we get the 6th seed, which is Kentucky. Okay, that's really low. I'm curious to see who this 11 is. I'm guessing it's not Michigan State because they already played this year. So who is the 11 going to be? They have yet to announce it. Providence. Wow. Okay, there's still a lot of teams. Like USC hasn't been said at all. So is the 7 USC and Michigan State? If it is, that's a really good game. But man, I'm really surprised by that. So the 3 is gonna be Kansas State. I figured, and yeah, it's Kansas State. So the Wildcats, the 3 seed, really good season for them with Jerome Tang as the head coach. Oops, that didn't work. So Kansas State, they get the 3, and their opponent is Montana State. Okay, I keep fumbling this away. So Montana State is the 14. They get Kansas State, and yep, there's Michigan State as the 7. All right, so there's the Spartans, but the question is, who are they playing? Like I said, I guess it's USC, and it is. Okay, so Michigan State gets USC. Okay, that's gonna be a really good game. All right, I like that. That's a fun matchup right there. And then the 2, of course, is Marquette. So obviously, Michigan the Wolverines did not make it to the NCAA tournament. Shocker. All right, so Marquette they get the 2. They get the 2 seed and the 15. I'm trying to think who's left. Oh, Vermont. Oh, okay, that's an interesting matchup. So now we have the whole NCAA tournament. Obviously, I'll go through it all one more time, and I'll go over all the different teams Um, all the way through. So I'll go over every single one of them. But just for this region, going back up to the top, we have Purdue taking on the winner of Texas Southern and Fairleigh Dickinson. And then our 8-9 game is Memphis and FAU. And then you have the Thursday games being the Duke Blue Devils and or you have Duke and Oral Roberts, and then Tennessee and Louisiana. And then going past them, you got Kentucky and Providence. Really interesting game there. Kansas State and Montana State as a 3-14. Michigan State and USC as the 7-10. What a good game that is. And then Vermont and Marquette as the 2-15. So that is all the matchups in that region. Now, I'm sure that they'll soon have who was last four in and first four out. In fact, I think that's probably what they're going to have next. Big Ten had 8 teams along with the SEC. So first four out. I'm very curious to see who are the teams that just missed the NCAA tournament. There we go. Okay, they had it. Oh yeah. Oh wow. So Oklahoma State was the first team out of the NCAA tournament. Then it was Rutgers. I actually forgot about Rutgers not even being in. So beating Michigan, they had to beat Purdue apparently. Wow, I'm really surprised that they didn't make it. And of course, UNC got the third, and then the last one was Clemson. Nevada was the last team in the NCAA tournament, with Mississippi State being 4, Pitt being 3, and Arizona State being the second to last team in the NCAA tournament. So those teams all just miss, and the other ones all just find their way into the NCAA tournament. Very, very close. But Oklahoma State, the first team out of the NCAA tournament. Wow. And they put Nevada over Oklahoma State. I guess that long stretch of losses for them just sunk them. I mean, I guess that's the only thing that could be possible because Oklahoma State has good wins, and I guess they just they didn't. I guess they like Nevada's wins, but I don't know. Nevada doesn't have some fantastic win or something like that. Wow, that's kind of shocking to me. I really expected more, but okay. So that's it for the selection show. So let's go over all the matchups. As I said, when we actually do the picks for the NCAA tournament, we'll go over like all the different I'll have all the cities and the days like I did last year. I'll have all that. I don't have it in there right now, but I will later. So for Bama's region, I think all the regions are wrong, so I'm going to switch them all. I'm going to have to fix that. But for Bama's region, they're the number 1 seed. The 16 is between Texas A&M Corpus Christi, who's in the first 4 again, and Southeast Missouri State in their second ever NCAA tournament, their first since 2000. The 8-9 game is Maryland and West Virginia, which is a really good game. The 5-12 is San Diego State and Charleston, another really good matchup there. Then you got Virginia up against Furman, Furman is in their very first NCAA tournament since 1980. Long time since they've been in the NCAA tournament. Then you got Creighton and NC State. I don't remember when NC State was last in the NCAA tournament, but Creighton, really interesting game there. Curious to see that one. Baylor and UC Santa Barbara. Baylor, a 10-loss team, but still ends up with a 3 seed. Kind of a surprise there. Missouri and Utah State, the 7-10, kind of a surprise there as well, with Utah State being that high. But Missouri being that high, but Missouri being the first 7 is not a surprise for me. But Utah State at 10 is a little interesting. And then Arizona will get Princeton in the 2:15 game. Overall, I really like Bama's chances of coming out of that region. Uh, San Diego State, that's not an impressive team, in my opinion. Virginia, I could see them getting upset by Charleston. Creighton, if they get hot, they can be a problem, but I could see Baylor giving them an issue, especially since Creighton really lacks defense. Baylor does too. That'll be an offensive game. Seeing those two play each other should be a lot of fun because neither one of those two play any defense at all. So that should be interesting to see those two up against each other. Missouri is another. There's a lot of offensive teams in here I just recognize. Arizona, Missouri, Baylor, Creighton, and then Bama. All those teams are very, very offensive. That's really a surprise. Yeah. So that's that region. Then we go over to the far right side, where we have Houston taking on Northern Kentucky. I would have to say that Northern Kentucky, is not going to win that game. Iowa, Auburn, that's a really good 8-9. Then you have Miami, Florida taking on Drake. Kind of surprised that Miami, Florida only could manage a 5 seed. Indiana and Kent State, another interesting matchup there. Should be Indiana, though, pretty easily. Iowa State, the 6th seed, and they get the winner of Mississippi State and Pitt. That should be a very fun first 4 game. That first 4 game should be the better one. I don't know about the other one necessarily, but that should be a very fun first 4 game. Xavier and Kennesaw. I'm going with Kennesaw. Kennesaw State. I'd have to think Xavier should win that one. Then, I think will be the best game of the first round. Texas A&M and Penn State. That is, I'm sorry, that can't be a coincidence that those two ended up, being put there. I don't know why Texas A&M was that low, but Penn State, they certainly played themselves into the NCAA tournament. They end up with the 10 seed. That should be a very fun game to see those two going up against each other. Kansas up against Howard, and this is the other region. Kansas up against Howard. That should be Kansas, pretty easy. Arkansas, Illinois. Now, I do say that Texas A&M and Penn State should be the best matchup of the NCAA tournament of the first round, but Arkansas, Illinois really depends on if these two teams play their best. Because at their best, they're both very good teams, but the problem is both of them have not been at their best. Illinois has been wildly inconsistent and has had injuries. Arkansas is also not wildly inconsistent. Arkansas has had just a ton of injuries, and maybe they're a little inconsistent. But that's big for the Razorbacks. Then you got St. Mary's taking on VCU. I can see that being an upset in a heartbeat. UConn taking on Iona. I could also see that being an upset in a heartbeat. TCU up against up against the winner of Arizona State, Nevada in the first 4 game. That's another interesting matchup. Gonzaga against Grand Canyon. Another curious one. And you got Northwestern taking on Boise State. Northwestern, I really cannot understand how they played that well this year, but they did. And then you got UCLA against North Carolina, Asheville, in the 2-15 game. And then you go to the very last matchups of the first round of the NCAA tournament. In the bottom left corner, you got Purdue taking on the winner of the first four game, which is Fairleigh Dickinson and Texas Southern up against Fairleigh Dickinson. Winner of that gets the Boilers. Memphis and FAU, the 8-9 game. FAU, a fantastic season, unbelievable year for the FAU Owls. As for Memphis, another solid year. Then you got Duke up against Oral Roberts. I'm really sad that Oral Roberts couldn't have gotten a better matchup because Duke is really playing at their best right now. I guess we don't want another Cinderella one from Oral Roberts. But Oral Roberts certainly could do it. I would still probably pick Duke, but that should be a crud ton of fun. Duke and ORU should be a very fun game. Tennessee up against Louisiana. That also should be very interesting. With Tennessee, obviously, without Zakiya Ziegler now. It's Providence, but Kentucky playing up against the 11 seed and Providence. Why they're an 11 seed, I don't know. The Providence is way better than the 11 seed. Kansas State up against Montana State. That's the 3-14. Another really good matchup. Michigan State the 7 against USC the 10. Really fun game there. And then Marquette the 2 will take on Vermont the 15. And that is it for the NCAA tournament. We have our NCAA tourney. Like I said, my favorite still to win it all is none other than Alabama. I have that honestly reaffirmed now after seeing the region that they drew. But this should be a very fun NCAA tournament. Should be really absolutely awesome, this NCAA tournament. I'm expecting so much from it. And I'm almost guarantee you it will not disappoint. So that is it for our very first live reaction on this channel. If you liked this, let us know because I'd love to do it again. This was really fun. So if you want us to do a live reaction for something else, I don't know what we'd be able to do a live reaction for. This is the easiest one to obviously do. But if you like these live videos, let us know. We'll try and do another one at some point. Don't know how or where or what it'll be for, but yeah, we'll try another live reaction like this. Should you guys want it, of course. But that is it for this, and until next time, we'll be doing our picks for the NCAA tournament come tomorrow on Monday, and also we'll be putting the bracket challenge for the podcast on the channel for obviously our podcast. It'll be in the description of this video, so go ahead and check that out. Go ahead and get yourself in there. As I said, our picks will be made tomorrow. All of ours will. We all will have, picks on there and all that stuff. So that is it for us, and we shall see you tomorrow for picks tomorrow. So